माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रजयकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रजयकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस शिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सच ठाकुर गोस्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की। श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की। मायापुर नवदीप धाम की। गंगा माई यमुना माई की। तुलसी देवी की। भक्ति देवी की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Okay. Today we are reading from Canto 7, Chapter 11, Text 8. So like Dravida Prabhu said, there are a lot of verses together from 8 to 12. So we'll just chant the first and translation for rest. Satyam, Daya, Tapaha, Shaucham, Titiksheksha, Samo, Damaha, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyaya, Arjavam, Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Shaucham, Titiksha, Samo, Dama, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyaya, Arjavam, Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Saucham, Titiksheksha, Samodamaha, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyaya, Arjavam, Satya, Daya, Tapa, Saucham, Titiksheksha, Samodamaha, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyaya, Arjavam, Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Shaucham, Titiksheksha, Samodamaha, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyaya, Arjavam, Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Saucham, Mataji, online, anyone?
Satyam, Daya, Tapa, Shaucham,
Satya, Daya, Tapa, Saucham,
Titiksheksha, Samodamaha, Ahimsa, Brahmacharyam, Cha, Tyaga, Swadhyaya, Arjavam.
Anyone else? Satyam, speaking the truth without distortion or deviation. Daya, sympathy to everyone's suffering. It should be everyone's. Huh? Tapaha, austerities, such as observing fasts at least twice in a month on the day of Ekadashi. Shaucham, cleanliness, bathing regularly at least twice a day, morning and evening, and remembering to chant the holy name of God. Titiksha, toleration, being unagitated by seasonal changes or inconvenient circumstances. Iksha, distinguishing between good and bad. Samaha, control of the mind, not allowing the mind to act whimsically. Dama, control of the senses, not allowing the senses to act without control, ahimsa, non-violence, not subjecting any living entity to the threefold miseries, brahmacharyam, continence or abstaining from misuse of one's semen, not indulging in sex with women other than one's own wife, and not having sex with one's own wife when sex is forbidden, like during the period of menstruation. Cha and tyaga, giving in charity at least 50% of one's income. Swadhyaya, reading of transcendental literatures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Ramayana and Mahabharata, or for those not in Vedic culture, reading of the Bible or Quran. Arjavam, simplicity, freedom from mental duplicity. Santosha, being satisfied with that which is available without severe endeavor. Samadrik, okay, so yeah, this ends the first verse. So for rest of the verses from 9 to 12, we can just read the translation. Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, welcome. These are the general principles to be followed by all human beings. Truthfulness, please repeat. Mercy, austerity, observing fasts on certain days of the month, bathing twice a day, tolerance, discrimination between right and wrong, control of the mind, control of the senses, non-violence, celibacy, charity, reading of the scriptures, simplicity, satisfaction, rendering service to saintly persons, gradually taking leave of unnecessary engagements, observing the futility of the unnecessary activities of human society, remaining silent and grave, and avoiding unnecessary talk, considering whether one is the body or the soul, distributing food equally to all living entities, both men and animals, seeing every soul, especially in the human form, as a part of the Supreme Lord, hearing about the activities and instructions given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the shelter of the saintly persons, chanting about these activities and instructions, always remembering these activities and instructions, trying to render service, performing worship, offering obeisances, becoming a servant, becoming a friend, and surrendering one's whole self. O King Yudhishthira, these 30 qualifications must be acquired in the human form of life. Simply by acquiring these qualifications, one can satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: in order that human beings be distinct from the animals, the great saint Narada recommends that every human being be educated in terms of above mentioned 30 qualifications. Nowadays, there is propaganda everywhere all over the world for a secular state, a state interested only in mundane activities. But if the citizens of the state are not educated in the above mentioned good qualities, how can there be happiness? For example, if the total populace is untruthful, how can the state be happy? Therefore, without considerations of one's belonging to a sectarian religion, whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or any other sect, everyone should be taught to become truthful. Similarly, everyone should be taught to be merciful, and everyone should observe fasting on certain days of the month. Everyone should bathe twice a day, cleanse his teeth and body externally, and cleanse his mind internally by remembering the holy name of the Lord. The Lord is one, whether one is a Hindu, Muslim, or Christian. Therefore, one should chant the holy name of the Lord, regardless of differences in linguistic pronunciation. Also, everyone should be taught to be very careful not to discharge semen unnecessarily. This is very important for all human beings. If semen is not discharged unnecessarily, one becomes extremely strong in memory, determination, activity, and the vitality of one's bodily energy. Everyone should also be taught to be simple in thought and feeling and satisfied in body and mind. These are the general qualifications of a human being. There is no question of a secular state or a ecclesiastical state. How do you pronounce that, Ravda Prabhu? Ecclesiastical. Okay, thank you. Secular or a ecclesiastical state. Unless one is educated in the above mentioned 30 qualities, there cannot be any peace. Ultimately, it is recommended. Shravanam kirtanam chasya smaranam mahatam gate seve jayavana tirdasyam sakhyam atma samarpanam. Everyone should become a devotee of the Lord, because by becoming a devotee of the Lord, one automatically acquires the other qualities. Yasyati bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarver gunistatra samasate suraha harav abhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorathe nasati dhavato bahi. In one who has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he has no good qualification, because he is engaged by mental concoction in material existence, which is the external feature of the Lord. Our Krishna consciousness movement, therefore, is all-embracing. Human civilization should take it very seriously and practice its principles for the peace of the world. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brinda Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayavicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Very happy to be with all of you this morning, chanting and kirtan, and so thank you, very grateful, and my obeisances to each one of you. Before we start, seek the blessings so that we can purify our hearts by these transcendental vibrations of Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Sukadev Goswami under the shelter of Shri Shri Radha Giridhari in this temple. It's a very special temple, Shri Shri Radha Giridhari temple, because this is new Govardhan. Old Govardhan is in Vrindavan, Govardhan area. And very beautiful pastime of Shri Giridhari, where Giridhari is holding this mountain Govardhan on his little finger of the left hand, not even the right hand. And one of his hands is free. And many times with one of his hands he will lift the flute and he will play the flute for the pleasure of all the Brijvasis. Because everybody is in anxiety, what will happen? You know, there is Indra has put up so much rain. So Krishna is playing the flute something like this. Can you take the mic, someone? Yeah. With your right hand. It goes a little longer, once more probably. Yeah. He's holding for 7 days, so maybe once more.
7 days.
And the sound of the flute is full of so much compassion and love that all the Brajavasi who hear the sound of the flute, they are so happy, they are so much in ecstasy. And their hearts are full, they are so satisfied. And after Krishna comes out, after the rain stops, everybody is massaging Krishna. Oh, he must be very tired, let me massage him. And everybody is, thinking that let me help Krishna for whatever he has done. Somebody is doing havan, somebody is cooking for Krishna and helping him. And then obviously, after that, Indra regrets, he goes to Lord Brahma and Brahmaji says, you have to go to this cow called Surabhi cow and take him with you to ask for forgiveness from Krishna. So this little small pastime before we take the blessings of Shri Shri Radha Giridhari. Yes. Yeah.
This temple is unique. This altar is unique because we have both Giriraj as the Govardhan, and we have Radha Giriraj. So we have the king of the mountains, and we have the king of mountains. You understand the difference?
Yeah. So king of the mountains.
The king of the mountain and the king of mountains.
Amazing.
It's unique. Only here does Giriraj mean both Krishna and Giri Govardhan.
Jai. Hari Bol. Very nice. Thank you, Dravida Prabhu. You are our guide, an eternal guide. Thank you so much. Even during Kirtan, Dravida Prabhu helps me sometimes to different tunes. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So in this part of the chapter, this is the perfect society for social classes, and we are talking about a lot about the qualities that a human being should develop. So here in this, Narad Muni, who is the guru of so many different personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadev Goswami, Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, he is recommending that every human being should be educated in above 30 qualifications. Let us see who Narad Muni is. Narad Muni is the one who came to Srila Vyasadeva when Vyasadeva was not feeling satisfied having written so many scriptures, all these Vedas and Puranas. And he appears in the Badrika ashram in the Himalayas and he instructs him that you should write something about the pure devotional service of the Lord. So Badrika ashram, as we know, is in, deep in the Himalayas. It's still there, that cave is still there. and Vyasadeva, wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam. And after that, Vyasadev's son is Sukadev Goswami. He told the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj at the banks of the Ganga at the Sukhatal. So if you go between Delhi to Rishikesh, there is an exit. Now earlier it was not there, but now they have put a big billboard, it says Sukhatal. So you can actually take an exit and it takes you to the exact place where Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, 5,000 years back. So it's not mythological, it's not, that place is still there. It's at the banks of the Ganga river. And he spoke this Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, and Parikshit Maharaj for 7 days and 7 nights without eating anything, without drinking anything. He was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam with so much eagerness and enthusiasm. And there were so many sages who were assembled there, including Narada Muni and great sages. And Sukadev Goswami was speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam without a microphone. There are so many people, and he was so enthusiastic and everybody was so attentive that they could hear everything. Thousands of people. And these people not only visited from nearby town or places, they visited from other planets also. It was such a special event. And after that we see that how Suta Goswami, who heard the Srimad Bhagavatam, he spoke to the sages of Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is a place near Lucknow. We went to that place. It's there near the Gomati river. So let us understand the spirit of Parikshit Maharaj. Who is Parikshit Maharaj? Parikshit Maharaj is the son of, whose son is he? Uttara. He was in the womb and he was so much in difficulty because Ashwathama had sent a Brahmastra that was only pointed to the womb of Uttara. And Parikshit Maharaj actually saw Krishna within the womb because Krishna came and protected him from this Brahmastra. And Uttara took shelter of Krishna at that time. Uttara, she had lost her husband, Abhimanyu, and all the other sons of the Pandavas, the 5 sons of Draupadi, they were killed by Ashwathama in the camp, in the retreat camp during the night time. So actually Parikshit Maharaj was the only descendant of the dynasty, the last descendant of this dynasty who could rule the world. So Ashwathama was trying to kill him also. So he took shelter of Krishna, Uttara took shelter of Krishna, just like Draupadi raised her hands when Dushasan was trying to disrobe her. So she also took shelter of Krishna and Krishna helped her. Huh? Yeah. So there is a nice prayer of Draupadi Maharani when Dushasan is trying to disrobe her. So that is mentioned in the Mahabharata also. So this is the position of Parikshit Maharaj. And in so much of difficulty, Parikshit Maharaj is listening. He knows he has just 7 days and 7 nights, to live. So he is taking shelter of Krishna, having given away all his belongings, whatever, he has given up his kingdom, and he is taking shelter of Krishna during this difficult time. So, and all these 30 qualifications that are mentioned here, Parikshit Maharaj throughout his life, he was exemplifying all these qualifications. But nowadays, Prabhupada says there is a propaganda all over the world for a secular state or a state interested only in mundane activities. People are not interested in spiritual life or hearing the names of Krishna. They are just interested in, okay, how much bank balance I can have, how much I can make in the, it's in so many ways by being untruthful. So that is the propaganda. How many houses you have, how much property you have, that is the success barometer of your life. But here we are seeing, yes, it is good to have those things. It is not bad. But at the same time, if we do not have Krishna with us, then all these things are of little value. So, if the citizens of the state are not educated in the above mentioned good qualities, how can there be happiness? If the total populace, and then Srila Prabhupada is describing about the first quality that is mentioned here, which is untruthful. So, the first quality is truthfulness. But Srila Prabhupada is saying the total populace is untruthful. How can the state be happy? In the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada also mentions about a businessman. He can be little bit, he can lie a little bit for the business. Okay, like if he's selling milk, for example, but he has to sell good quality milk. If he's selling, I just purchased it for this much dollars, but he can say, okay, I purchased it for say $6 and I'm giving you at that price. However, he might have purchased it for $5. He's making a $1 profit, but it's okay as long as the milk is pure. He's not mixing anything wrong in it. The quality should be good. Obviously, businessman has to make profit. So sometimes he has to, speak little bit of, it's not actually lies. In today's world, people are speaking so much of lies, so that is nothing. And without consideration of one's belonging to sectarian religion, whether a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, or any other sect, everyone should be taught to become truthful. So because all the religions, they actually teach the same thing, whether it's the Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita, all these books teach about being, the quality of being truthful. So, and everyone should be taught to be merciful. Everyone should observe fasting on certain days of the month. Everyone should bathe twice a day, cleanse his teeth and body externally, and cleanse his mind internally by remembering the holy name of the Lord. So this is very important, cleansing the mind internally by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Because the mind, there are so many things that keep on going in our mind in a whole day and from the previous impressions that we have. But when we chant sincerely, so when we mean by chanting, we are chanting and hearing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We might have so many problems going in our life, so many difficulties, but still, while we are chanting, we are just chanting. So, like being in the present, like Srila Prabhupada, when he says, I am drinking water, then he's only drinking water. He's understanding the taste of water, like being in the present. The present is the best present you can present to yourself at present. Being mindful. So when we are chanting, we are very mindful. We are just focusing on the sound vibration. Because if you give your mind an opportunity to think about other things, let me do this thing or let me do that thing, and in between chanting, then it's a license to your mind and it will keep going here and there. So once you do something else, it will say, okay, let me do this also. Let me do the third thing, fourth thing, fifth thing. So you'll do everything except chanting. So while we are chanting, we just focus. We time box it. In modern day world, we use this term, time box your activities. These 45 minutes I'm dedicating to this thing. So we time box it for chanting. Focused, 100% focused. The mind is in the mantra is in the mind. That is the true japa. The sage says, be here now. Yeah. So, so these are the qualities for chanting. And when you said be here now, I'm remembering one incident from a baseball coach called Joe Torre. Has anyone heard of Joe Torre? He's in the Hall of Fame of baseball. He was a very successful player, and he was elected as the coach for the New York Yankees because they were losing very badly for last few years. So they hired him, and everybody started questioning, why did you hire him as a coach? How can he just, help them? It's not possible. But he didn't listen to them. He was just focusing on what he has to do, and trying to be his best and trying to coach them. So he coached the New York team, New York Yankees very nicely. And because of his coaching, this team actually won 4 World Cup titles. World Series, yeah. 4 World Cup series. And sorry, I'm from the cricket background, so I use the title instead of series. Yeah. Yeah, I think baseball is a perverted reflection of cricket. But you may think that cricket, you might think the reverse, that cricket is a perverted reflection of baseball. But anyways, I asked Vaishnav Seva Prabhu. He said the older one is cricket. So so he was. So he coached them, and they were like in the four World Cup series, and I think 6 of them were, and then 6 of them were, they were into the semi-finals or something like that. So he was asked in an interview, how did you make this happen? And he said that, when I was a child, then I was living in an abusive family. And whenever there was something going on in the house, then I would just run out and just hit the ball with the bat. And doing this practice, keep doing it, I got good at it. I kept doing this. And then the reporter asked, do you feel happy you have so much money, name, fame? He said, actually these things are okay, but these things really don't touch my heart. He said the real thing that touches my heart is a non-profit foundation that I opened with the help of my wife. And what it does is, it goes to these schools, and it has a lot of counselors, and they counsel the children from abusive households. And then when they get counseled, and when I see the smile on the face of these kids, that is what gives me real happiness. That is what satisfies my heart. Not this money or name or fame or anything like that. So, similarly here Srila Prabhupada is saying that all these things can actually be important for us, but if we do not have Krishna consciousness, it cannot touch our heart. In one who has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and demigods are consistently manifested. So, if we do not have devotion to Krishna and we have all these qualities, then they are not at all good. Like Srila Prabhupada would say, for vegetarian, monkeys are also vegetarian. But what's the use of being vegetarian? There are a lot of vegetarian people around. But if they do not have love for Krishna, they are not Krishna conscious, what's the use of being vegetarian? But if you are Krishna conscious, you will automatically be vegetarian, but not vice versa. So, therefore, one should chant the holy name of the Lord regardless of differences in linguistic pronunciation. Everyone should be taught to be very careful not to discharge semen unnecessarily. If semen is not discharged unnecessarily, one becomes extremely strong in memory, determination, activity, and vitality of one's bodily energy. In one of the purports of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explains, with the rain comes crops, and when we eat the crops, it generates semen, right? So how the soul is actually carried, that is also basically described through the rainfall, through the semen. It goes into the womb and the baby is formed. All those things. So everyone should be, so it is extremely important to protect the semen, and that helps us to become strong in memory, determination, activity. Everyone should be taught to be simple in thought and feeling and satisfied in body and mind. Simple in thought and feeling and satisfied in body and mind. Many times, we are always in anxiety. Oh, if I were young, I could have studied more and I could have read the scriptures more analytically and this and that. But the thing is, that time is already gone. And if you are always in anxiety, you have to take birth again. And again in the youth age, young age, you will do again the same things and you will forget what I have to do. And again the cycle will keep on repeating. So we should be very, very grateful for whichever situation we are in, whatever age we are in, whatever circumstances we are in. If you are grateful, you are happy. If we can just thank Krishna for whatever he has given to us at this present moment, Krishna will be very pleased with us and we can make spiritual progress. So the quality of gratitude, the quality of being satisfied, here this quality is mentioned, the qualification of being satisfied is very, very important. It does not mean that we do not plan for the future. It does not mean that we do not learn from our past mistakes. But what it means, we are grateful for what we have now. Unless one is educated in above mentioned qualities, 30 qualities, there cannot be any peace. Bhoktaram yagya tapsam sarvaloka maheshwaram. So this is the peace formula. That understanding that Krishna is the proprietor and the controller of everything. And taking shelter of Krishna, we can be peaceful. When we take shelter of Krishna, all these qualities develop. When we take shelter of Krishna in the form of his holy name, the holy name actually purifies us, that automatically these anarthas keep going away. We have seen so many examples, where devotees coming from so many backgrounds, just by chanting the holy names, they are purified. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West, he was just chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the Tompkins Square Park, and he, just by his chanting, so many hippies became happies. So that is the power of the holy name. And everyone should become a devotee of the Lord, because by becoming a devotee of the Lord, one automatically acquires the other qualities. So just like we said, the reverse is not true, but if you become the devotee, you get the qualities. But if you just try to acquire the qualities, you might not be becoming a devotee. So, and then if one has unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all the good qualities of Krishna and demigods are consistently manifest. However, he who has no devotion to the Lord has no good qualification, because he is engaged in mental concoction of material existence. Our Krishna conscious movement, therefore, is all embracing. Human civilization should take it very seriously and practice its principle for the peace of this world. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda Prabhu came, Parama Karuna Paho Dui Jana, just to spread the love and peace without any weapon, like Krishna came with Sudarshan, Nrsimhadev came with his nails. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with the chanting of the holy name, Nityananda Prabhu. And he is spreading this love and peace in the world just by chanting the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions?
I keep coming back to this sentence in the purport. For example, if the total populace is untruthful, how can the state be happy? But if the leader of the state is untruthful, how can the populace be happy? That just came to mind, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's nice. You have expanded from state to the country.
The state is the leader of the state. The state is embodied in the king, president.
Yeah.
So if the leader of the state is untruthful, how can the populace be happy?
Thank you for the class. I had a question. I had two, actually. I guess the first one, I read a sentence when the devotee kind of becomes surrendered, he manifests all the qualities of the demigods and Krishna. I was wondering if you could talk about that, because I guess it says like only the jiva can manifest 50 qualities, and even in minute degree. So how does that exactly work? And then I guess my next question to answer that.
Yeah.
Does it say that when you come to surrender, you manifest the quality? I don't remember the exact words. I think it says yes, yes, the Bhakti. Is that the verse?
Yeah. Yes, the Bhakti Bhagavati. It says all good qualities of Krishna and demigods are consistently manifest. So what is the question? You already said that these qualities will be...
14 of Krishna that are never manifest in the jiva.
Oh, I see.
Because we only 50 of the 64 qualities of Krishna do the jivas ever manifest. And even then, it's explained.
Who can use the microphone?
Only minutely, not fully like Krishna. But here it's saying. Okay, again, Sankarshan's asking that here in this verse it's saying, one who has an unflinching devotional service to Krishna, all good qualities of Krishna and the demigods are consistently manifest. And so Sankarshan's saying, but we see nectar devotion of Krishna's 64 qualities, of Krishna's 64 qualities, 50 are only 50 are manifest in the jivas, and then only minutely. So that's what he's asking to reconcile.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu.
Observation. But what you have to understand, all the good qualities of Krishna that the jiva can manifest are manifest in him, and the good qualities of the demigods are also consistently manifest. In other words, you have to understand that you're not going to be all beautiful and own everything. No, that's obviously not going to be there. So that's, yeah, I mean, I don't think that it requires an editing, although that, you understand? Yeah. I mean, obviously, all the good qualities of Krishna, that the first 50, as Mukunda pointed out, then you can manifest those if you become a pure devotee. But you're not going to start manifesting the ones that only Shiva can do. I mean,
only Shiva, that's what I was thinking.
Shiva
yeah.
and Narayan.
50 qualities, only
Shiva.
Shiva
Speak
can,
of the special 4, then,
Yeah.
It might even come up in that purport, right?
Yeah, that's what I also heard. Only Shiva can have 50 qualities.
No, we can have 50. But
We can have, okay.
5.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yes, bro.
And then the second one was when Shukadeva Goswami spoke the Bhagavatam to Parikshit and Narada was present. Why is it more relishable to hear it? Because he already heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from his guru, but now he's hearing it again from Shukadeva Goswami. But he's kind of relishing it even more. Is there like a kind of like a reason, like even when you hear it again from somebody kind of reciting the Bhagavatam, it becomes more relishable or in some way like that?
What did Narada hear? Did he just hear the essential 4?
Mic, the mic.
In the third verse, right? Shukamukadamita dravasamyitam. By coming from the mouth of Shuka, it became more sweet. And because he expanded on it. And, the beautiful poetry and so many things. So it's understood that the one that Shukadev spoke is what Sutta, memorized. I mean, it's inconceivable. 18,000 verses. He memorized them when hearing him, and he repeated them. But it's definitely became sweeter and more attractive when Shukadev spoke it. Then when it was,
I think he's asking why did Narada Muni spoke instead of Sukadev Goswami? No?
When you explained it.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna.
Yes.
We can adjourn because it's far over time, but you can tell us.
Okay, we can quickly. Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna, we're out of time, so some will adjourn, but you can still ask your question. Gaura Keshava Prabhu is here for you.
Yes, Mukunda Prabhu, thank you very much. I just want to know, why is it that people, instead of wanting to be governed by a religious state, instead they want to be governed by a secular state, because if a secular state doesn't make us happy, is it that the people want to be governed by a secular state because they went like crazy, like thinking that to suffer is better than to be happy? That is my question.
So Vijay Krishna's question is, if we see that a religious state, or like a state run by spiritual principles was what will make some people happy, and a secular state will not make people happy, why is it that so many people are accepting this idea and want to have a secular state? Is it because they don't want to be happy, that they'd rather be secular? They're choosing secular life instead of happiness because they value that more than happiness itself?
Yes, Dravida Prabhu wanted to answer. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, the secular state. I mean, that's the phrase that became prominent, right, after 1947 when the Indian state, because there was so much battle between the Muslims and the Hindus, and it was just so they figured, okay, then the state will be secular and will somehow there'll be a way to and then so the division came out, So the point is that when a so-called religious state becomes corrupt, we had that in Europe, where they had the burn, the witches, and they had so much. The Catholics were being persecuted by the Protestants, and so many things. So that's the problem. Yes, if it's a purely Vaishnava state and the king is a Vaishnava and all those principles are being inculcated, then it can be very happy. But if it becomes corrupted, then it becomes worse than a secular state. So at least we'll have like America, right? No established religion. That's how that came out. Hold on. In the Constitution, because there was so much burning of witches, fighting, and all this craziness. Yeah. So that's what happened. That's great.
Nice.
But to Vijay Krishna, Vijay Krishna's question is, if we see that the secular state doesn't bring happiness, then why people are still so eager to have a secular state is because they value a secular state over happiness. It seems the obvious answer is that they don't accept the idea that a secular state won't bring happiness. So I think that seems pretty obvious that the people who are promoting, who are pushing for having a secular state, they aren't saying because this is more important than happiness. They just don't accept it. So I think that part should be obvious, I think. I don't think the people pushing, as Prabhupada's saying here, pushing propaganda for a secular state are saying, yes, it's true, a secular state can't bring happiness, but we should push it anyway because it's valuable for other reasons, and we're going to choose that over happiness. I think, therefore, the question, I don't think they would agree with the question.
Valuable for other reasons? What are the reasons?
I guess the reasons that Gaura Keshava was saying, it's good for economic development and so on. It's good for maybe like lifespan of a nation or something.
Yes.
But
yeah. But even if everybody is following their own religion sincerely, you have every religion, whether it's Christianity or Islam, they are following nicely, then everybody is happy. But the problem is nobody is following their religion properly. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I take exception to that because I think that at least we could theorize that if there's a religion that if followed thoroughly, one could theoretically have a religion and a scripture which, if followed thoroughly, would mean a lot of other people suffering because the religion says so, says to kill people who aren't part of the religion. So I think it's not entirely thorough to say that if everyone's following the religion properly, then we have to define what does properly mean, because if it may not mean properly according to their own scriptures, because if one's own scripture says that the thorough following of your religion is to kill those who don't follow their religion, then to be a thorough follower of that religion would mean to kill others, and therefore, you see. So now it'd be easier to, if we want to define it, that if everyone's following the religion properly, meaning they're praying to God, properly meaning like objective moral values, not properly according to that scripture, then that's easier to say. If everyone is following the religion, praying to the Lord, performing different fasts and so on. That's easier to say. And they're following the Ten Commandments as a Christian and so on. That's easier to say. Like if we say, follow your religion properly, and what does that mean? You know, pray, read your scripture, but then have these qualities, even if your scripture doesn't promote these qualities. For instance, where in the Bible, because here, that was something I was going to say. Because at one point in the class you mentioned that all scriptures, they promote these 30 qualities. But that I don't think we could say accurately because, and that's actually not exactly what's in the purport. And what's in the purport is that Srila Prabhupada is saying that of these 30 qualities, one of them is reading scriptures, or svadhyaya, that a study, and specifically religious or spiritual study. And so he says, so whether you read the Bible or the Quran or something, or Mahabharata or something, that should be a part of one's regular practice in order to be like a proper human being. However, that would be different from saying that all these 30 qualities are promoted equally in these different scriptures. For instance, where is celibacy promoted to the for the adherents of Christianity, or ahimsa or something? You could supplement it, and that's what it seems that Srila Prabhupada is saying here. Supplement it with these qualities if you don't have it on your own in your scripture. And actually, interestingly enough, in the purport, when Srila Prabhupada's criticizing the propaganda for secular society, his solution isn't necessarily we must have a religious society, or his criticism isn't just that they aren't promoting religion enough, but saying that in the propagation for these secular societies, they aren't promoting good character enough. They're just promoting systems, like government systems. Like they're promoting, actually, because the propaganda isn't exactly, if you look at the context when Srila Prabhupada brings these things up in conversations and elsewhere in purports, when he's talking about, when he's criticizing the modern push for secular society, a secular state, he's not just referring to like the citizens of a state are all focused on, like you said, bank balance and nice cars and big house and so on, and that's the propaganda. Rather, he's referring to government propaganda for a secular state. Government push for vote for these people, or we're going to have this particular government system or government systems for a secular society. And he's criticizing that propaganda because it's replacing the push for good character. It's replacing that with the push for just government systems and caring about their activities. That's how we put it here. Focused on mundane activities. So making sure you go to work, making sure you pay your taxes, making sure you work, pay taxes. I thought there was maybe a couple more. But basically, what are the people doing? Not like how good are the people? What are they doing? And Srila Prabhupada saying, but it won't work like that. You can't just have a government that's just focused on mundane activities, the activities of the people, not the character of the people, and think that's all going to work out. If we can just put the people in the right systems, put them in place, then naturally, everybody will flourish and have the highest standard of living. Srila Prabhupada's criticizing and he's pushing that they're not even right on the material platform because they aren't pushing qualities. So if you don't push them to have good quality and being truthful, how can we even theoretically talk about happiness? If you just, as long as they're working and they're making money and they have their family and they pay their taxes and so on, but if they don't have good character, how can we actually think that they're going to be happy? And then after that he says, therefore, they need to be pushing good qualities, character. And then at the end he says, but there are no good qualities without religion.
And Srila Prabhupada ends his purport by saying that if we do become devotees of Krishna, then the required qualities for us to be peaceful, prosperous, and spiritualized will manifest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
That is the summum bonum, to become the devotee of Krishna. And dance and chant.
The elevator instead of the staircase?
Yes. That's a good analogy. What did he say? How are you going to get the exercise, Vijay Krishna Prabhu, if you take the elevator?
It's funny because people really say that, like they say that like you need to struggle in this world in order to really appreciate like people say, well, Krishna put us here so we can experience all the pain of heartbreak and drunken intoxication so we can better experience heaven. Like some people will say that to us, And it's also, actually, it is canon for some Christians to think like that. That's the reason why we have to go through the pain of this earth, is to qualify for heaven. So that's not, so we need the exercise before we know. Yeah, it's funny.
For me to answer your question to the speaker, the elevator includes fitness. We chant, we dance, yes.
True, that's true. Good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
There's
'cause
fitness enough.
Mohan Vilas, he met my father. We were here in the lobby, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, your son, this and that," and he said, "Yeah, you know, you could see the way he's living. It could be like kind of considered to the elevator. It's like a faster process rather than taking stairs or something." Then father's like, "Oh, what about exercise?" But yeah, as Vijay is pointing out, there is exercise in the process of the elevator process, chanting and dancing, and swimming.
Swimming is a Vaishnava sport.
Wrestling, Vaishnava sport.
Giving a class, giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class demands a lot of energy. Apparently it doesn't, but it does. Preparing for the class, giving the class, answering questions, that takes a lot of energy.
Even hearing also takes a lot of energy.
Just look how exhausted everybody gets just listening. Exactly.
And
wipes them out.
Hearing is also actually preaching. People think that one who is speaking is preaching. That is wrong. Actually, who is hearing is also preaching. Can anyone tell why?
Preaching to themselves.
Huh? No? A good answer, but...
Because you're working to piece it together, or no?
Okay, that's also good, but I have some more ideas. So. The idea is when you are hearing and sitting in the Srimad Bhagavatam class, you are actually exemplifying yourself that this is important. Like if you are a senior devotee, others are seeing you, some junior devotee, they are seeing that, oh, this person is actually sitting regularly and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class. See, Dravida Prabhu, last 50 years, he's coming regularly to Mangal Arati, to Bhagavatam class. So that's through his example. People are looking. So he's preaching just by hearing the class. He doesn't need to hear. He knows everything, all the shlokas he knows. I mean, even for some of us, we are seniors. So when, say, Balram Prabhu is sitting, or Amogali, or whoever is sitting here, Mukund Charan Prabhu, Sankarshan Prabhu, whoever, they are giving an example that, okay, for other new devotees, that this is really important. So that is preaching.
That's good. That's good.
I totally agree.
So you
Vijay
are also
Krishna
preaching.
Prabhu,
Vijay
thank you
Krishna.
for your preaching this morning.
You're connecting from
welcome.
South Africa?
Vijay Krishna Prabhu preaches a lot. He's preaching all over the world. San Diego, Colorado, here, there. Good example here,
Where does he live?
here in the class.
And that's why I am fit.
Jai. Where does he live, Vijay Krishna Prabhu? Portugal.
Yes, the Azores Archipelago, São Miguel Island.
He lives on an island.
Island. What's the island called?
The name in Portuguese is São Miguel. In English
San Miguel.
is Saint Michael's Island.
Oh, Saint Michael. So do you have a temple there or what?
No.
Yes, we have a temple, and I am the temple president.
Oh, I see. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.